You order one sandwich. Bodega Bites. How much is that? Bodega. Is that 20? Bodega Bites. Bodega Bites.
Yo, D, what's up, man?
What's good, baby? How you, man?
Same old. Getting on with this.
Let me get a virtual cheers.
Oh, virtual tears. Yep, there we go.
Bow,
Bam! Digital handshake, all that kind of stuff. Elbow to the fist pump. Woo! He didn't leave me dropping. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome back to the channel. This is Bodega Bites podcast. We're here in New York City, still on quarantine, trying to keep it real. We've got a special episode here. Mother's Day is coming up. Definitely a shout out to all the moms out there.
Cinco de Mayo. May the 4th be with you. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I didn't watch a single drop of Star Wars yesterday. I should have.
Neither did I, but I thought about it, so I felt like that was okay. You know what I'm saying? I watched enough Star Wars in my day.
That's true. As long as it's in your mind, that's it, man. So all you pretty and ugly motherfuckers out there, welcome back. You can find us. We're on Instagram, Bodega Bites Podcast, soon to be Facebook. Also, we're going to start doing another YouTube channel for our live streams. Hopefully some of the beat sessions, things like that. Also, keep on the lookout. We're probably going to be hopefully up on Spotify, iTunes, maybe Audible, all these kind of things in the near future once we get the podcast rolling a little bit more on the regular. But yeah, welcome back. We're definitely going to have some good things to talk about. As everybody's experience, we've just been going through COVID, and we kind of were talking earlier about protests and brutality, things that are going on here in the city. And
I want to say maybe this is like Saturday.
Okay.
In Manhattan. So I guess in the West Village, everybody's in the park chilling. And
right.
There's like photos of cops, like people not like in the park, just like not social distancing at all. And cops are handing out masks to like white folks. And then like you go to the projects in Manhattan, and then there's this Officer Garcia who pretty much just cold clocks a bystander and like slaps him up and arrests him, right?
What?
So Instagram goes absolutely bananas.
This all happened yesterday along Avenue D and East 9th Street, and police say officers told the group to disperse, and then when some refused, they moved in. Then police say they spotted a bag of marijuana, and one man got aggressive. When officers tried to arrest him, they say a woman jumped in, and then you see this officer here approach a second guy. Police say he came at them in a fighting stance. The officer warns the guy with the taser, and then you see things escalate. The officer slaps the man, then wails on him on the ground here. Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams condemned that officer's behavior.
We need to be extremely conscious that in many of the communities that our officers are going to interact with, there are historical and traditional negative encounters with law enforcement.
And then whoever filmed the video got a clear shot of his badge number. So they looked him up, and then I didn't know this, but you can pretty much, if you're a cop, all your information is online, like how much you make, how long you've been in, on the force, or whatever.
Okay.
So he had like 5 cases of assault since like 2015 or 2016 or something like that.
Wow.
And he was like a PO, you know what I mean? Like, and all of them were like assault-based cases, and it's been going on ever since then. You know what I'm saying? And then people are just screaming that like there's this disparity of that brown people are just getting blatantly attacked for social distancing when white folks are doing the exact same thing, and like cops are passing out masks, and it's like it's all good. Like, for example, like you saw that video that went viral last week in California.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like you're in the cop's face, you're like, fuck you.
Freeze, sir. Keep your distance, sir.
Oh,
stay back, sir. Yo, if you brown, you going down, okay? This is the word on the streets right now.
You want to spray me some sanitizer?
Yeah, Miss Myers. The least harmful weapon of choice. Yeah.
Now, I wasn't ready for that though, to keep it a buck. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, just like, all right, how could I look like a cop? Because I know you wouldn't like it. It's crazy, man. I mean, how are you holding up you know, with your family, and I know Nicole's, you know, working in healthcare for sure.
I mean, we're doing good. We're doing our best to try and stay sane out here, man. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're just keeping our heads low, not doing anything crazy, you know. I'm ready to get back to, you know, the new normal, or just at least try and have some sense of what it was in the past, but who knows when that'll be. I'd much rather what they say, err on the side of caution, you know, and stay safe. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be selfish. And I think that's what's kind of playing a lot into everybody, is that, you know, I mean, obviously you have to get back to work, you know, if you have to support your family.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you've been furloughed or laid off, whatever the case may be. But I just make sure everybody is safe, man, because we really don't know we still don't know what's going on. Everybody, people in the government don't know, and just trying to stay safe, man. That's it.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
because you got a new family and everything. So I mean,
yeah.
what is the norm really? Especially since she's working in healthcare, you know, like when she comes home, when she goes to work, what does it kind of typically look like?
So basically, you know, when you come home, you have to change clothes and put those clothes in garbage bags, essentially, and then leave those off to the side. You know what I'm saying? And then immediately shower. And then when you're done with that, you can go and wash the clothes. That's the best protocol for, you know, trying to, because you know, those scrubs have been contaminated. So we don't want to bring those contaminated garments into the house. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing is to put them in trash bag, shower, boom, and then, you know, go wash the clothes.
Wow. So that's at least 2 times a day, you know, you'd say. Going and coming, or going is kind of the reverse opposite of that, I would
exactly.
say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, they got the full get up, you know what I'm saying? So you have the garment with the face mask and the shield and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So luckily we were blessed. We got some masks donated, some face shields donated. So as of right now, you know, she's pretty much good on equipment and things like that. So
that's definitely a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is she kind of like assigned these materials and the different equipment, or is it kind of something that they've issued, or is it something she's reusing in terms of masks, or?
Pretty much how it is, from what I understand, it's pretty much everybody's on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
And then that's why the donations are so important, because the hospitals aren't providing the proper equipments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's 1 mask per shift. And normally it's supposed to be like, it's a one-time use room. So you use it, like you go into a room, you do your task, and then throw it away. But then instead they get one for the whole shift. And then the problem with that is you could lose a seal. And then even if you do have it on, you know, there's still potential for infection, you know?
Oh my goodness. And then the fact that you'd have to reuse it since you don't have enough. Yeah, that's tough.
And then the thing is that everybody's buying up all the equipment. Like, that's why I see people on the street with face shields and like N95 masks. I'm like, you look silly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You probably are even wearing it right. You know what I'm saying? And then,
well, that's the new fashion, man. Supreme just put it out. Hypebeast just put it out. You know, them and J. Crew are coming up with a new look with the preppy shirts and the face mask look. You know what I mean?
Seriously?
No wonder why they went bankrupt. No, I just fucking. That would be crazy, though. I mean, I know J. Crew went bankrupt because of I mean, who cares? They should have been bankrupt a long time ago with their cheesy ass athletic shirts. So if you're watching and you wear J. Crew, I feel for you, but I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Don't feel
nice
at all. No.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm being too nice. He's a motherfucker if you wear J. Crew, but yeah, man. I think it's crazy. Like, it's definitely the supplies that are at the stores and stuff. Like, even us going to the dollar store, they're selling masks like crazy. So everybody over here is just wearing stuff that you would think and would hope that, you know, healthcare workers would have much more availability.
And that's the problem, is that regular people are just wearing these N95 masks, which there's a shortage of, which they should be going to people who actually need them. You know what I'm saying? Who are actually walking into these situations knowing that the virus is running rampant. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, you have one and you're not even wearing it right. It's on your chin. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Right.
Even people who wear it like their nose exposed, like, come on. Like you're either going to do it or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do it 90%, you might as well not do it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I definitely agree.
So that's why I've got Nicole got some cloth masks. We have some N95s here, but I don't wear them. I just wear the cloth mask. But the
Yeah.
thing is though, the one that we have, it has like it has the mask. Then on the inside, you can slide these filters in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So so that's pretty cool. And then they're washable too, because you obviously, like, when you wear them, you sweat and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's all cotton, and you can wash it pretty easy. So
I like that. Yeah, and you can switch the filter out, clean that out,
yeah,
put that
exactly.
back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely essential, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you talking about fashion, you talking about COVID. That actually reminds me, because I think Daymond from Shark Tank, the guy who started FUBU.
Yeah.
I know he was under scrutiny for a while because almost selling N95 masks at a super inflated price, like 7 to 9 times the price that he would sell them for. And I think that was a time when Florida was like, we really need face masks. And I think they ended up buying into one of his schemes. And then 3M was going back to Daymond and going back to him and like, how did you find face masks?
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, where did you get the rights to sell our materials that many as well without even asking us, and then inflating it at 7 times or 9 times the price? How can you be so selfish in a time like this when you know healthcare workers need it? But also, I get it coming from a business standpoint. You're trying to take advantage of the situation for sure, which is very unfortunate. But it's just funny that it happens to be FUBU, man. Like, that's the new look for FUBU. I mean, shit.
I think he's not the only one. I think with what's going on now, there's a lot of room for opportunism. And I think it gives, I think if someone called an opportunist, it's normally a negative connotation, and people like that. And even though I like Daymond, I like Shark Tank, I think it's a really cool show, but he really took advantage. And I think he felt like, these are big corporations, so fuck it. Like, I'm going to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? He saw opportunity and he took it. But that's not ethical at all. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that that hurts my heart to hear that, to be honest with you.
It is unfortunate, man, because he just seemed like, and it seems like a lot of people that you look up to, and you would hope in a time like this that they would do something that's a little bit more humanitarian, I would say, for the least part.
Yeah. One thing that I've definitely learned, over the past few months is that, I think I said this before, is that people are going to be who they are no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The good people are going to do, what they feel is right. And then the douchebag is just going to exacerbate their character. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, it's taught me to not have, or just to learn how to manage my expectations for people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The right thing. If you're a shark and you see opportunity, you smell blood, you're going to do what sharks do. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So, it is what it is, man. And it's just teaching us a lot of life lessons. And then a lot of people are going to come out of this on top. People are taking opportunities like we are to, take platforms that exist and kind of expand upon them and, do certain things. And other people are just, waiting on the next stimulus check. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's definitely true, man. It definitely shows a lot about people's characters during these times, for sure.
100%.
And I think there's also some good coming out. Like, I know Tory Lanez started, I think it's called the Dream City Fund.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was kind of like an initiative in direct response to his whole quarantine radio that we were talking about last week. And he's basically started this whole, I guess, fundraiser that will provide meals and diapers to people impacted by COVID, which is pretty cool. So actually seeing him turn around and do something for the community is really nice, and I think like the first donation is going to like help buy like 100,000 diapers, for families that need it, or families that are definitely impacted by it. So it's good, man. I think it's bringing out the good in some people who maybe on a regular basis wouldn't seem to reach out to the community that much and reach back. So it's kind of nice to see that, whether it's their PR team doing it or as a human, it's actually nice to see that, especially in the hip hop world, for sure.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him. What you got there? You got a green juice? What you got?
I got a green juice. What am I drinking? Bro, it's like collagen. Yeah, super green juice, man. A lot of the algae that you put in there.
Oh,
got some ginger, some banana. Nice little Sprite for the day,
That's homemade or what?
Homemade, man. Put it in the blender with some water.
Oh, wow. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's delicious, Then I should be drinking coffee out of this thing, but it's actually just fucking water.
Oh, I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yep, just revealing the secrets right now. It's crazy. Even that, I mean, I know Ty Dolla $ign. It's funny because I was listening to him last week. My girlfriend was showing me a song that he did with a Korean pop star, which I thought was really good. I thought their sounds matched really well. And then I saw something with Ty Dolla $ign. He recorded a song. I guess his grandmother just passed. And
no way.
Yeah, so him, Ty Dolla $ign, his brother and his sister put a song called Claudina Ave. They put it up on SoundCloud. And it was actually pretty good, man. It was very heartfelt just to hear the three of them like kind of jamming on this underground track that was only released on SoundCloud, which I thought was kind of cool. They just put it together.
I don't judge you, it just makes you better. 1928, a queen was born. Even though you
crazy, man. Ty's super talented. Got a crazy.
He really is, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect him too as an artist. I just feel like he not only pushes the boundaries, but is just open to doing collaborations with so many different genres of music. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's one thing you'll be surprised about is that when you look at international music, how many of the pop stars, are on the international charts, and whether they're in Korea or the UK or Africa, you look at the different charts.
Yeah.
Like a lot of producers too, like Murda Beatz, man. Murda Beatz is all over the Asian scene because they want those producers. They want that American sound. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, especially in the popular, in Korea now, Japan, like those places are definitely highly influenced by the American music culture, and I think they've kind of built their own culture around it too. But it is something that's very important, is they want that sound. Like that's exactly true, man.
100%.
Fucking Murda Beatz, bro. That's yeah,
he's killing the game right now, man. What's the name? Yeah. He's got a drum kit on Splice.
Murda Beatz?
Yeah, it's called Quarantine. Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely
okay.
Crazy. Like check. Like if you don't got it, I'll send it to you, man. It's really good.
That sounds nice.
I forgot. It came out probably it's been a while now, but it was like #1 for a minute. You know what I'm saying? On Splice, so
as a kid,
as a drum, like kick snares, 808s, things like that. But
right,
it's good.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what the fucking kit is, it's definitely like an online sound pack that you can basically dive into. It's got all the files for all the separate instruments. So like Derek was saying, kicks, snares, hi-hats, drums, cymbals, toms, everything that you would need to build a instrumental track or a backing for like a rap or a hip hop song or any kind of song in general.
Right, but there's definitely levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Because with him, pretty much plug and play. You just drop him in, bing, 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 and you're just good.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Doesn't need to. I mean, if you know what you're doing, doesn't need too much EQ or anything like that because, they just locked and loaded, so you don't gotta, delay your creative process. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
For the longest time, I had Splice and I wasn't the biggest fan of it until I realized that all the top producers, like who have records on the radio, are using Splice every single day. You know what I'm saying?
What yeah.
Whether it's like Foreign Tech, Cashmere, you know what I'm saying? Murda Beatz, all these guys have kits online and everybody uses them. You know what I'm saying? And then when the new one comes out, they just refresh their sounds and just keep it new, find a new inspiration. Oh, also, while I'm thinking about it, that Citizens DJ, you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to put that in there.
What is that?
That's where the Library of Congress, they have a collection of music from movies, spoken word, interviews, and they created a beta program online where you can use these royalty-free samples for beat making. You know what I'm saying? And then you go on their website and they have a little sequencer, like free loop style, where you can choose your sample and then you can pick a different drum machine. So you could use an MPC, SP1200 or whatever the case may be, and it'll change it up. But you want more hip hop, more EDM, or more techno, you can kind of shuffle that inside of the browser itself, or you can just download the sample and cook it up in whatever DAW you use. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But I spent a lot of time on it yesterday. There's not much right now because it's in beta, but I listened to it and I went through and there's some heat. Did you listen to that track I sent yesterday?
Yeah, the 88 Cup, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice, bro.
So I looked on some samples yesterday, took a break, came back, made a beat, and that's kind of what I came up with. Chopped it up a little bit, but there's some good stuff in there. Even with like, they have interviews with like Barry White, Isaac Hayes, James Brown, like a bunch of like random stuff. When it's just cool little like one shots and like audio samples that you can just be creative with and use in like curating a project or something. So I would definitely tap into the Citizens DJ because I know all the big guys are using it because it's royalty free. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you listen to it, a lot of it has like vinyl hiss. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it sounds super dirty, super grimy, like it came straight off a record, you know, where something like Splice, for example, where the sounds are really bright and polished and clean, which is good if you're making pop music, you know what I'm saying, which is definitely what you want to go for. But a lot of times you want something that has some grit to it, and we end up using like a lot of plugins, you know, and EQ to kind of dirty up the sound to kind of make it a little bit more grimy. These sound like it's straight off wax, you know, like you sample it. So super duper dope, and it's something I will keep an eye on because they're looking to expand upon it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still in beta. It hasn't been out a week yet. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
man.
that it's basically like a bunch of music that was in the Library of Congress before that was under copyrighted protection. That they're releasing now that you could sample. So is it mostly just samples, or is it like you said, like with the drum machines, can you download separate drum kits or things like that as well?
There's no drum kits. It's all like recorded music, voiceovers, interviews, and like random sound bites like that. And then you can go through and you can pick and you can download them individually, or you could download the full kit itself. You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, me personally, I wouldn't recommend because there's like anybody who digs in the crates knows that like when you find a hot sample, it's like a diamond in the rough. So you got to go through a bunch of bullshit to kind of like find what you want. So I mean, I wouldn't download like 5 gigs of samples and I'm only going to use 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? So I would just click through, listen to them, and see what you got, man. And it's some good stuff, and it's royalty free. Like with all these other services like Sounds and Splice and things like that, you got to pay a membership fee. You know.
True.
You know, so it costs. It's out of pocket, and those are royalty free. But this is straight from the Library of Congress. Royalty ready to cook, man. I'm telling you.
That sounds nice, man.
In the next couple of months, man, you might not know it, but some of your favorite records are like definitely like some Griselda sounding stuff, or like some more boom bap, or even like you can trap it out if you want. But it's good. And then while I'm thinking about it, Serato, they have like
I was just gonna ask you about that.
They have a new DAW called Serato Studio, and for this month you can try it free for $1. You know, so I guess they know everybody's at home. And then previously they've had they did a plugin called Serato Sample, which was a huge. Everybody loves Serato Sample because it's pretty much basically like you know how to you DJ, you know how Serato is like. It separates like the kicks and the snares and everything, and it's like color coded. So Serato Sample kind of did that, so it can kind of like auto chop for you. And I guess Serato Studio is kind of an expansion on that. You know what I'm saying? So instead of it being a plugin, you have your own standalone DAW, which I haven't used. I mean, I'll probably just check it out. Like I'm not going to switch, from Ableton and Pro Tools, but I think somebody coming up in the game, they're looking for something new. Or if you do DJ and you're looking to get into production, your learning curve would be much smaller because it's the same. It's the same train of thought that you're using. It's the same interface that you're used to using when you're spinning records. You know?
That's really cool, man. Because I remember when Serato came out. So I mean, if you broke as fuck during these times, which most likely you are, go check that out. Get some new music from Citizen DJ. Download fucking Serato free for a fucking month. Check it out. Become the next bedroom DJ that you wanted to be. Because I think that's awesome, bro. Because I remember, I never really got into Serato, but it's great to go from DJ software, which you think respectively would definitely then go into a production software like the plugin you said, and then now finally become trying to evolve into some sort of production actual DAW for your, software for your computer, which I think is great. I think that's absolutely great because Serato's already great for DJing.
Yeah.
So to kind of go into that realm, I mean, a lot of DJs are producers and likewise, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. I know your boy Jazzy Jeff was like the ambassador when Serato Sample first dropped.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. He's all about Serato.
Yeah.
Like most of his beats now, like you hear it, it sounds like he's been sampling the Library of Congress's, you know, what Citizen DJ's been trying to do, because he takes those old flips, he takes that gritty sound, but he polishes them, makes them nice. And bro, most of it is through Serato, and he is always doing scratches and always doing like beat juggling and, you know, using a lot of records like live. And Serato's just fucking, he's been a huge supporter of Serato since the beginning. So that's true, man. Talking about Jazzy Jeff, I know for the COVID thing, he's having another kind of like online concert, but this one's more for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I think it's been about 30 years since the premiere for the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff and the whole show to go out.
Nah, I don't believe that. It's been 30 years.
Yeah.
Nah,
bro.
I'm not saying that. That's not true.
It's been almost 30 years. I'm telling you, bro. The Fresh, bro. We are old, but we are young. So step your game up, motherfuckers. But yeah, bro. Like when it first screened, that it was. I sort of love about 30 years ago, and so he's throwing this party. It's called Break the Monotony. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like this, you know, obviously the Fresh Prince was a legendary, you know, like TV sitcom, and he's hosting this virtual block party on Saturday, mm-hmm. on May 9th, which should be dope. And it's definitely, you know, hopefully it'll just ease the boredom of people that are social distancing and stuff like that. But bro, it's supposed to be fucking fire. Like there's fucking a lot of people on the list, like DJ Clark Kent. Just Blaze is fucking doing it.
Crazy.
So it's like, yeah, it's like this huge event, and then they're gonna put out these time capsules with like all this Will Smith like new kind of retrofitted gear, t-shirts, and they're kind of putting a time capsule like package together, which will raise money obviously for relief from the pandemic that's happening now. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of good. I mean, I'm always a fan of Jazzy Jeff. Since we're talking about Serato, and I feel like every week I'm gonna at least touch on something that he's doing or a project that he's got his fingers dipped into. So yeah, it's definitely cool, man. I definitely fucking support everything like that.
I think you said May 9th. I think you know, we talked about verses last week too. So I think it's hold on, Erykah Badu and Jill Scott.
Yeah, I think you're right. I heard about that.
Yeah,
is that on Saturday?
I think that's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, like prime time, like 8:00 or something. But
oh shit,
which is dope, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Jill Scott. She's got some classics. I grew up to a lot of her music, but I think Erykah's got some smashes, bro. Like it's not even fair, you know. Like, but I mean, let's see what happens, man. I'm excited to kind of see what you know, what they bring, what they do. So you know, I'm gonna tune into both of those on the weekend.
Ooh, that sounds super exciting. Yeah, shout out to the ladies, the women in hip hop, for sure. You know, this is, like we said, this is the Mother's Day special podcast. We're kind of talking everything about mothers.
Exactly. And that kind of correlates into that too, because it's the day before, you know.
Exactly. So,
you know, and Erykah is kind of like the matriarch of the game too, you know.
She is, and that's the perfect mother. She's definitely up there. Even last week when you were talking about you know, Missy E putting out some stuff, like these are old school, respectable women in hip hop that have just paved the way for generations and newer artists, I feel like. So they're definitely the mothers of it. Shout out to my mom, shout out to your mom, shout out to all the moms, you know.
Hey mama Jen, God just gave me another chance. Wishing you was here today, Mom. Wish you'd appear just for a sec. Take the time out, kiss both cheeks on my mama's face.
Definitely shout out to all the moms.
100%.
Yep. I love you, Mom. You're probably not watching this podcast, but if you are, which you're probably not, I love you, and I'm sorry for all the fucking cursing. Excuse me, pardon me. Just, yes, but...
Okay, you know what I mean? We grown. It's okay. You know, she's still
grown.
With you.
That's true. They're very supportive, man. It's actually funny. I was listening to this group called N Phase. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're like, it's probably the first or second CD I ever owned. Mm-hmm. And they had this track on there. They were like kind of an R&B gospel group. I think they were from the South. Very cheesy, corny, baby making music for sure.
Okay.
You know, in the height of like, you know, the kind of the late and the mid 90s when it was just at its prime. And I feel like they had a song on there called Mother. Growing up and listening to that type of music, I'm just glad. My mom was not as open as she is now, you know, especially to like my taste in hip hop and stuff like that. I mean, I remember growing up, even just playing that CD, a lot of the songs, like there was another song on that album called Baby Spend the Night. Baby Spend the Night. It was just the smoothest song, but it was like, baby spend the night, we gon' get it on over, so, you know, some shit like that.
Right.
And I'd bump it in my room. My mom's like, what the fuck are you listening to? What are you like, you know, 12, 13, maybe even a little bit younger at the time. And I was just like, that was probably the easiest of things for her to listen to in terms of what I was into. So it's kind of funny. Definitely shout out to my mom for putting up with a bunch of that shit. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if your mom was the same, but.
Nah, for her, I mean, back then, like anything hip hop was a dub automatically, right? So I remember the Clipse first album.
Consistent hits while Pharrell keep talking this music.
And I'm so sad I did this, but I mean, everybody did back in the day. You would burn a CD, right? So I had a copy of the first album, Lord Willing.
Okay.
And she saw it, you know, laying around in the CD player or whatever. And she was like, oh, is that a gospel, you know, a gospel CD? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, but it was the Clipse first project. And, you know, so since then, she's kind of seen how it's impacted my life and like what I've done with it. And it's actually a passion of mine. So I've kind of, you know, had her, you know, come around. She still doesn't quite understand it 100%, but she knows that like I love it. So, you know, anything that, you know, her son is into, she's going to at least try and appreciate, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I remember just growing up too. It was like, I remember, okay, one time, man, I used to hang out with the wrong fucking crowd, but it was me, my friend Devon, and his cousins. Bro, like my mom, so these guys, like, I fucking just always hung out with. We ran track team together. After track, after like running up like flights of stairs in the high school, we'd all just fucking like out of breath, like literally 5 minutes after practice, like go in the back of the school and smoke Black and Milds. And then,
of course, classic.
Yeah.
I wasn't hanging out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, who got the blacks? Yo, you 18. All right, go get them. You know what I mean? You got the light. We lit.
Right. And that was the time when you're taking apart Black and Milds, taking out the little inner paper, rolling some joints.
You would freak them. Yeah,
and some bad Primo shit. And I was like, I didn't even know what that shit was. They're like, hey, smoke this joint. I'd smoke it, and it's like laced with fucking crack or whatever's in it, you know? And I'm just like, dude, I remember this one time I had just bought this beat machine. It was like, I think the Roland, I forget what it was called, the Rhythm something. It wasn't like the TR-808, not the fucking TR-808, I don't know, whatever. And was going to their house. I remember like went into Devon's basement. They're like, all right, man, you make the beats and shit. We're going to freestyle. And they had like, we just had kind of like a cypher in a session. I remember getting so fucked up, just smoking this joint, and all I hear was music, bumping. I remember like at a certain point, I was passed out on the couch. There was probably like 10 dudes down there. They were just like, yo, we ain't making beats, but they were still just like freestyling to the same beat, I guess, for like
10 hours later, right? The same joint.
It seemed to me like 10 hours later. And I remember going home still fucked up. I was like, no, Devon, man, like, you gotta take me home, man. He's like, you being a little bitch. I was like, fuck that, dude. Like, I don't feel good. I gotta go home. So I remember he took me home. My mom was home. Devon's like, oh, you know, all right, man, we'll see you later. And my mom saw him and she's like, is this one of your hip hop friends or whatever? And I was like, Mom, like, really? Like, you got to embarrass me like this? And then Devon just has the fucking nerves. He's like, hey, man, we drove you home. We came all the way from Aurora, which is like a half an hour drive. He's like, you got some money? And I was like, fuck, man. Like, I don't have any money for your gas. Are you serious right now? And I was like, you being a little bitch, bro. Like, and then I like, in front of my mom, I gave him like the fucking coins in a fucking jar. I was like, yo, take these coins. He's like, man, fuck you, man. Like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. And ever since then on, my mom just had this kind of negative connotation with that type of music. And she always knew that it was a thing. But I think now that I'm older, she and still knows that I'm into the kind of the culture. And I definitely like you know, as us being producers, like she definitely supports it. Like I think last time I was going to go to Denver and she was like, oh, I'd really love for you to take me to one of your hip hopper concerts and stuff. And I was like, that's cool. Like just the fact that she said that and would love to know that it means so much to me and so much to you as like, as her sons, like they definitely want to support us. And I think they see that, you know, it makes us happy. And it's grateful to have a parent and a mother that's definitely supportive of what we love to do.
Yeah, man. And I would definitely say that, you know, Denver has a solid up and coming hip hop scene. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like mad hipsters. Like we went out there probably 3 years ago. We went to the Fillmore. You know about the Fillmore?
Oh, that's a classic theater out there. Yeah.
Classic, right? Dope venue. And we saw Run the Jewels. You know what I'm saying? And then we saw Run the Jewels, Gangsta Boo, and I forget who was the opener, but it was dope, man. I was surprised. I didn't know it was like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Denver's got some swag coming up too. But this is all post legalization of cannabis too. So, you know,
yeah, true.
All the rappers are pulling up. You know, you can smoke legally. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, it's definitely Denver's changed so much, man. But I feel like even before they'd have so many concerts. I think the first concert I went to, even then, was more with my dad. But I think it might have been at the Fillmore Auditorium. I think it was downtown, so I think it was the Fillmore.
Yeah.
But I had called the local radio station, which was KS1075. They had this Christmas Jingle Jam concert that was going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can call and you win tickets right now, blah, blah, blah. You know, be the 7th caller on KS1075. So I remember calling in. It was like midnight or something. Somehow I got through.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, who's this? You've won tickets with my squeaky. I was like, oh my God, like, it's me. Like, I can't wait. And I remember, like, I got the tickets. I was on the air. I tried to, like, record it, you know, just to, like, show my friends and show off. Be like, oh, I got these tickets on the air. Like, I was on the air. I don't know. The recording didn't follow through, but ended up, my dad had to pick up the tickets because I was under 18 at the time. So he picked them up, and then I was like, well, I don't really have anybody to go with that's available for this day. Because I asked all my friends, I asked some girls, and they're like, no. So I asked my dad, and he's like the least person to take to any. He's like classical music and jazz, like that's it.
Okay, that's me. I'm not mad at that, you know.
Yeah, great taste, which is rubbed off on me more now. But I ended up trying to take him, and I think he was down. And I think at the last minute he backed out, so I had to just like ask just a random person that I was kind of acquaintances with.
Yeah.
But I remember I went. It was like the first concert. It was like Little Bow Wow was there, Pink. It was supposed to be Casey and JoJo.
Okay.
Bro, Casey and JoJo didn't show up. They claimed they were sick. The only people that were there was Pink and Lil Bow Wow. And, like, I got there. I was like,
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Bro, it was bad. And there was a fangirl in front of us like, woo, Lil Bow Wow. And he, like, threw the fucking little paw thing or whatever, like, throwing merch in the fucking – and, like, it landed at my foot. And the lady behind me was like, oh, my God, what can I do to get this? And I just looked at my foot and I just picked it up. And I like literally just walked out. Like I took it with me and I walked out. I was like, dude, I'm not giving you this, but I am leaving. Like
I'm taking something, bitch. Like this is mine.
Right.
Denied.
So it's like, you know, I wish I was easier on my parents with that in terms of, you know.
Yeah. I think maybe one of the first shows I went to when I was in high school. I mean, I went to like a bunch of random concerts, but like the first one I went to like by myself with my friends was Summer Jam. And
okay.
I remember being like, I was so amped to go to Summer Jam, right? And I remember getting there and I was just like, this is it. Like I was so disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. This is like, I don't know, like maybe like 05, 04, something like that. Probably 05. Yeah, definitely 05. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it was cool. It was regular Summer Jam, and you know, and at that time, Summer Jam was in Pontiac, in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we drove out to Pontiac. You know, we thought we were doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? But we ended up having more time, you know, away from the show, like getting into other shit than we did at the actual concert. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, so that was probably I think one of my first shows I went to, and then. You know, once I did that, I kind of caught the bug and started going to mad shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like maybe the first. So it was just more than It was less than what you expected. You were expecting like
way
a
less,
grandiose show.
way less.
Yeah.
And then and it was kind of it's, if you know Pontiac, you know the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
So I mean, it was cool. Excuse me.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know Pontiac. I wouldn't.
Oh no, Pontiac can be like. I mean, for me, like I live in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So people, have their thoughts in Detroit. But I mean, I feel safe. I feel comfortable. Do whatever I want to do. Go to shows. Go to whatever. But Pontiac is like Yak Town. You call it Yak Town for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
So
because I know the cars don't have the greatest reputation. So if it's similar to that, then okay.
Yeah, exactly. So being a dude from Detroit, you know what I'm saying, like born and raised, and then going to Pontiac, it's like, oh, like wow. Okay, I see how we moving out here. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you went into the game pretty hard. You were like a bouncer too, right? And
that was like in college though. That was definitely in college.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was like when I was like hustling like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I would like I was running a moving business with my buddy. So we would do that in the morning, and then I would go to the restaurant job, you know what I'm saying, from like 3 to 10, and then from like 11:30 to like 3 in the morning, I would go be a bouncer at the club in Ann Arbor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was just working like crazy, which probably that job was like the best and the worst job I ever had, making minimum wage, but you're like, you had a bouncer in the club. So at that time, it was probably at the height of like EDM. Like EDM was like really starting to gain popularity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I see a lot of cool DJs, got to meet a lot of cool people. I ended up getting fired from it, but fuck it, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what'd you get fired for? Some bullshit?
Yeah, some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it's but yeah, it was dope. It was a cool experience. I'm pretty sure it's still there. It's a staple club in Ann Arbor. Like if you go to college in that area, like you're gonna go to that club. You know what I'm saying? Like at least once or twice.
Right.
So
were you were pretty close to your mom at this time? You guys were still talking, or how was your relationship with your mom during the college times?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say overall. I mean, the thing is that when I was a teen, like right after high school, it was kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
I'm always been very independent and like gonna do my own thing no matter what. And she was like, "Yo, this is my house, my rules." So once I moved out and I was able to have my own space, then our relationship was able to blossom. And for me, I was able to see, my mother as like a regular person and not as a parent. And that kind of, helped our relationship grow, because then she was able to see me as an adult, and we could have those adult conversations and share experiences and things like that. So after me moving out the house was kind of when the tension kind of subsided and we were able to grow, and it's been like that ever since. And I mean I love my mother to death, but I can't stay home in her house for like more than a few days. You know what I mean? Just because I live my life the way I live my life. She knows it. She respects that I am who I am, but we have our certain differences and we respect them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do anything crazy, but I just do what I do. And I just talked to her today. You know what I'm saying? Happy Cinco de Mayo. Just checked in on her.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? She's doing good.
That's good.
Yeah, at the house. She's on furlough because she works at the hospital for COVID. So she had symptoms. So just as a precaution, they were like, "Yo, just take a couple weeks off." But I just talked to her. She doesn't think that she has COVID. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah. So so just keep her in the prayers and hope she make sure she stays healthy and things like that. So
definitely, yeah, she's in the prayers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, your mom's a great person. I think the first album that we did when we first connected here, when I moved to New York through work, we did another project with Miles, who's now in Indianapolis. But
right,
he, I think your mom was one of the first supporters to like help buy our CD, like and support us and shit. And that was super cool to see.
Yeah, because it's different when you say you do stuff and then you come with the actual product. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, oh my God, for her, you know, for someone who is a music fan, a music lover, but it's completely different when, or you know, like the average person doesn't understand how an album comes to be and how like a CD happens. So to see it manifest and to actually hear the music and like, you know, hear my voice and like see my name on the back and things like that. So that was a big deal.
I keep my head up. Head up. When it's the elements taking over my pencil, I'm thinking,
you know, for her, you know, for all of us, you know.
For sure, yeah. It was definitely like a milestone for all of us, for sure. I think it was great. You know, it's funny when you think about moms and supporting that. It's kind of like, I know you grew up on J Dilla. I know a lot of people did.
regardless of what happened on him, let's rely.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let me freak the funk. Obsolete is the punk that talk more junk than Sarah sales. I jet propel at a rate.
I know you grew up on J Dilla. I know a lot of people did.
Yeah.
You know, just the Yancey family in general. And I know Ma Dukes, shout out to her. Like she, even after his passing, when did he pass? Like it was a while ago.
06?
06, right? But I just give, you know, just mad love and respect to Maureen Yancey and the whole, you know, the Yancey Family Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Like she, like now, what is it? Like if we're going off of 06, 14 years later, you know, after her son's passing, she's had a really big hand in also just really supporting, you know, the hip hop culture and also like still helping make available like releases for some of his music that's just probably stuck on old school floppy disks and hard drives and shit like that. And you know, releasing them to, I guess, the studios, I would assume.
Yeah, she owns the rights to most of his music that I love. And, you know, every year in February, there's Dilla Day, you know, around the anniversary of his death. So they always, you know, do stuff for charity. You know what I'm saying? There's a Yancey Foundation, and I forget what illness he had, but the foundation goes towards, you know, people who suffer from that same sickness. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in the game, you know, like DJ House Shoes and like guys like that, just big up Ma Dukes because she's carrying on her son's legacy. You know what I'm saying?
She is, for sure.
Impact that he had and how much he loved the game because, you know, Donuts was made, you know, in his last days. He brought the equipment to the hospital and was, you know, finishing up the project while he was still, you know, still in the hospital. So she sees the passion that he had, and also she knows the power of music. You know what I'm saying? It brings people together. You know what I'm saying? So she knew that her purpose was to continue her son's legacy. You know what I'm saying? And to keep that alive and just to keep the music going. And because we all love Dilla, you know what I'm saying? Dilla's inspired millions of people, millions of producers, and it goes without saying. So shout out to her. Shout out to Ma Dukes, man. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Slum Village. You know what I mean? Black Milk, all those dudes, man. So
for sure. Yeah, I know they had online, I think it started in early March, but it's called 28 Days for Dilla.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like this, kind of in honor of his legacy. They've been kind of doing DJ and producer battles every Saturday. So the last one would be this Saturday on May 9th. And then they're flying Ma Dukes out to DC, donating to the foundation, but kind of just showing her love for everything. So like Crazy Legs, you know, the dancer from here in the Bronx.
Oh,
everything like, yeah, bro. So they're doing it to kind of like the James Do It Yancey Foundation. They partnered with him and kind of just to raise relief funds, you know, for the people of Puerto Rico affected by the earthquakes and then some from COVID. It's just kind of Crazy Legs as charity. That's kind of what they're doing the whole battle about. So it's cool to see all these different DJs and people that, you know, the Yancey family was close to, and, you know, Jay Dilla, and, you know, a lot of the people, I think the guy from Black Sheep, I forget his name. You know, a lot of these, it's pretty cool to see it, especially during these times. And she's always advocating for her son's music.
Who else is nice is his brother, Illa J.
Illa J's
fire.
There was one album, it was like with the clocks. It was, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to play it here.
Yeah, Illa J is good, man. Shout out to Illa J.
Yeah,
and he's all about he doesn't try and like, what do I say? I mean, he's his own person, obviously, but he pays homage to what happened because he knows he wouldn't have that platform if it wasn't for Dilla. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, come on, you know. I mean, Illa J, that's pretty much like he just flipped his brother's name. You know
That's
what
it, yeah. But he is his own character. That's what I like about it. He's got his own sound, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say his sound's a little bit, I don't want to say contemporary, but I mean that's the only other way I could, you know, describe it. You know, he's not living in the shadow; he's crafting a lane for himself.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Illa J is nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one track. Yeah, it was like yeah, I have to play it, man. It was like the trumpets, and it was like.
Set your mind free, let your mind free. That's the past. Don't remind me. This the present. Next to future.
I love that track. I'll play it so you can hear that shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, you gotta play that shit.
Yeah, man.
What bugs me out though is that like he's been gone for a while, like 14 years now, and he still got records that come out, man. Like
that's what I'm saying, man.
Like how many in the stash like does he have? And like you watch all these documentaries, and he was so ahead of him. Like back in the days, he was like using DAWs before like major producers were using. Like back, like this is like Beat Machine days, like
right,
MPC or whatever. And he uses like some crazy like Japanese DAW that nobody ever used, and they had to like do a bunch of work to try and like extract his beats and things like that. So he's just prolific, man. Even to this day, I have a custom Dilla painting that I need to put up. You know what I'm saying? That.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Clash One from the Bronx, man. A crazy artist, and he did it for me pretty much for like at cost when we pay for the materials. But yeah, man, he's just even after almost 20 years after him being gone, just finds ways to inspire. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's just he'll live on forever, and I think his mom's got a big part of that movement and helping keep that alive too. And I think it's great that that's amazing, man. I mean, I feel like everything that we hear today, if not even in our styles and my style specifically for myself, is heavily influenced by his sounds and the innovation of, you know, him being ahead of his time and just being so honed into his craft where it's almost just like there's nothing else that matters, you know?
100%.
Yeah, shout outs to the moms, you know? Just you can't get enough of that for sure.
Shout out to the moms, shout out to the women holding it down in lockdown. You know, we're trying to stay sane. Everybody is, you know, on top of everybody. So just shout out to all the women holding it down too. You know,
absolutely.
You know, I feel like, you know, nowadays, you know, the women are getting their flowers, but you know, they do so much for us that I feel like we don't get acknowledged, especially for, you know, guys like us. They allow us to speak on these platforms and, you know, give us the support that we need and the encouragement and the recognition to just keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Because they say, you know, behind every, you know, strong man is even stronger woman. You know what I'm saying? So if you can create that bond and, you know, you got a solid woman behind you, you know, don't fuck it up. Don't do dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head straight. And sometimes you got to live life with blinders on. You know what I'm saying? Or just have that type of mentality so you don't get distracted, you know? So,
that's true. No, I agree. I feel like, it's definitely like, you know, a better person that it's made me, you know, having somebody like that. So,
yeah, man, it grounds you out. And then to call bullshit when, you know, they see you doing some dumb shit, keep you in check. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, it's good, man.
Hey, mama, Jen, God just gave me another chance. Wishing you was here today, mom. Wish you'd appear just for a sec. Take the time out, kiss both cheeks on my mama's face.
Actually, the one that's pretty cool was the Game and Nipsey Hussle. Okay. They had the Welcome Home, but they just dropped their music video for it, and I just thought it was cool because it's obviously Nipsey Hussle.
R.I.P.
I love a lot.
Yep. Nipsey, for sure.
R.I.P. for sure, and then definitely it was from the last album that the Game put out. So it's definitely an older album. You know, a couple of months. I think it was a couple of months ago, maybe even last year.
Born to Rap, right? That joint.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they finally put the video out for it, which is pretty cool. And then it was all animation. So I liked it because it was kind of like this animation style. And he did a couple other songs off that album. They made videos out of it, but they're all like cut out animation 2D looking. So it was kind of a cool video to see just on an artistic level.
Gang with Lamborghini outside, but nigga, that don't change shit. Same nigga that gave you classic after classic can still chop rock and zip it plastic after plastic. Why you think Dr. Dre don't take me on them yachts with him? Whispering to Snoop, this nigga probably got a Glock with him.
Like that. And then I thought it was interesting too was Lil Uzi Vert had Baby Pluto.
Right. That was huge.
That was huge with the claymation too.
But you know, Uzi's big into anime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
He's huge into that. And that's kind of why I like his whole aesthetic, because a lot of his album artwork is like anime style. You know what I'm saying? Got little characters, you know what I'm saying, that are like for his album artwork that are pretty fly. So shout out to him. I fuck with Uzi.
Yeah, man. Have you seen the video? You should check it out. It's pretty crazy.
I haven't. That's one thing I really lack on is watching videos. I'm on all the music.
Yeah.
When it comes to videos, I just kind of like rely on people like you and, you know, some other friends to kind of put me up on game about certain videos that are cool, just because, I don't know, I'm so like, you know, I'm in like a different space a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, different interests too, you know, for me, I'm more like, I like the visuals too, but I also like the music. So it's interesting to see, the different aspects.
I heard it's some niggas that want my brain. Oh my God. Y'all niggas bet you'll be for y'all, I'll be dead. Whole lot of holes, whole lot of mess.
Which is funny because we were talking about Knowledge last week. He dropped a new fucking album, which he probably does every fucking week.
Right.
But it's dope, man. I mean, he's busy. He put it on Bandcamp, so it's only on Bandcamp. And it's part of the, I guess, the original series that he's doing, the Hexual Ceiling.
Okay.
Like the whole mixed beat tape series of that. But his cover for his album, you know, on Bandcamp that he just released is cool. It's like all R&B throwbacks, very different from the 1988 album. Obviously, it wasn't as promoted as much. But it sounds nice, man. It's definitely a lot smoother. But the cover album for it is definitely like anime inspired. Like he just basically used this artist who does different backgrounds and he's a different artist for anime. He's from Japan. So.
My man want the dude, he called it broad texting. I said, cool, we could get him right before breakfast.
Yeah, man, I feel like hip hop and anime go together like, you know, like milk and cookies or something, like peanut butter and jelly. Like if you look at like Afro Samurai, or even when Kanye did Graduation and he had Takashi Murakami do the artwork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Like a lot of times when I'm at the crib with myself and I'm cooking up, I'll just throw on some anime and just watch the visuals for inspiration, whether it's like Bleach, Cowboy Bebop, or whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And it's just entertainment, man. Like I was watching Akira the other day. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
The classic stuff. Just pull it up just because I like the visuals and it's entertaining. And but before I forget, I want to big ups to Bandcamp. They've been doing a lot for artists during quarantine, during lockdown. I know that for a while they waived their fees. I think like everything they do happens on Fridays, right? Like this day, like you get 100% of the cash from your projects,
right?
And then they did something else. I forget what it is, but Bandcamp is doing a lot for independent artists to try and make some money during this time, because you know we can't do shows. Like if you're an independent artist, you rely a lot on shows and you know, gigs and things like that. You're pretty much shit out of luck. So shout out to the people at Bandcamp. We're really looking out for the artists, man.
I thought that was super cool too. I heard about that, like waiving their fees and letting all the proceeds basically go straight to the artist. That's awesome,
right? Which is fire, man. I think it should be like that 100%. But I mean, they got to make their bread too. But everybody's got to eat something. But you got to play the game. So.
And talking about animations too, I know before in New York, I lived in Hawaii, but there's this local artist. What's his name? Well, he was talking about watching like Akira, all the Afro Samurai, which was a lot of like RZA produced stuff, like things like that. Samurai Champloo. I think Netflix has the new, or maybe it's Amazon. They got Megalobox, which is kind of cool. It's more like chilled lo-fi.
Okay.
Beats, but I think that's it came out last year or the year before. It's only one season, but a lot of it's like hip hop beats influenced, like more recent anime, which is pretty cool. But there's a Hawaii artist. So there's the My Neighbor Totoro, which I don't know if you remember seeing, but it's a Japanese animated film from like Studio Ghibli and was released in like 1988.
Okay.
So very, very popular anime style from Japan. Super like super unique, super independent. But I guess the music producer from Hawaii, his name Totoro too.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to take basically the whole soundtrack from the original 1988 film, and then he basically turned it into this lo-fi, chilled beat tape.
Fire.
And like everything, yeah, super, super fire, bro. So, and he's a pretty big producer in Hawaii. Hawaii's not the biggest game for hip hop for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, you know, he's up for like doing producers for this other artist called the Menehune Giant.
Trees down, cut across the water,
which is like this Hawaiian rapper, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And they're up for the Nahoku Awards, which is the Nahoku Awards are basically like music awards in Hawaii, just kind of like the Grammys, but for Hawaii.
Shit.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So he's up for producing most of the stuff in the R&B and hip hop genre in Hawaii for this year, which is coming up for like hip hop album of the year.
Wow, that's crazy. What's that ceremony called?
It's called Nahoku Awards. So it's everything music, whether it's Hawaiian traditional music, rock music, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super cool. You should tune into it because you'll see a lot of like island reggae stuff. It's huge with island reggae, whether it's like what's popular around most of the Pacific, all the way to New Zealand, like Fiji, you know, that type of area and that type of sound.
So it goes out to Japan and like, so it encompasses a lot like Asian style music too. I mean, I like the, I'm not going to hold you. I like a lot of the Japanese hip hop, man. Nujabes, you know what I'm saying? Like guys like that. And I feel like they just technically sound, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially all the Japanese DJs, the tricks that they do are just bananas. You know what I'm saying? Like the turntablism that they do is out of sight.
And it's almost melodic and smooth, bro. It's very different from like you'd think of like an East Coast DJ doing different vibes. And yeah, I love it. It's just more like.
What I will say though is that like a New York style DJ. So I don't know if this makes sense, but I would say like a New York DJ or maybe somebody from like the Bronx or Brooklyn is going to have a lot more flair, right? A little bit more personality, like a Swiss Beats or like the Executioners, right? Like those guys, like a lot of flair, a lot of personality, a lot of aggression. But then, you know, you go to like maybe someplace like Europe or Japan or like, you know, different parts of Asia, they have a lot more technicality in their music. So it's just like, it's appreciating the two different styles, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of understanding what they're trying to do with it, you know?
Right.
And I think that's a direct product of where you're from, right? Because if you're a rapper, you know, what region you come from is going to determine your accent, your lingo, you throw in your rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing across any other craft, whether it's like breaking or you know, graffiti or, you know, you're DJing. So, you know, I just love shit like that and just experiencing hip hop across multi-cultures, you know what I'm saying? Understanding what they have to say, you know?
Yeah. Oh, especially, you're right. You're right. Because you hear the influence of how they grew up or what they heard listening to or inspired to.
Or you know, they take some native samples and they throw it like over some classic Nas verses, you know what I'm saying, that you really respect, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I've heard some pretty cool shit. And sometimes too, like I don't watch too much TV, but I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch these DJ battles for hours.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, some of them are like, but there's some heat out there too, you know?
Yeah, there's some trash in that department too, for sure. No, it's cool. You're talking about the Executioners, man. I've been watching Rob Swift a lot. Like he's been doing a lot of like teaching lately. And it's cool because it looks like he's just chilling in his house. He's like, I ain't got shit else to do, like just, you know, especially during these times. And has been putting together a cool like education program, and it's like I think he just has people coming into his studio or his place, and they're all like just teaching them how to scratch. They have no idea, and kind of building it up and having them like do their own songs and learn how to use the turntables and what a mixer is and all that shit.
And scratching is dope. I mean, back in the days, like when I'm sure when Swift first started, like you didn't have a laptop that you could kind of play off of, so he's combining like the old school technique and then taking the technology that we have and kind of fusing them because there's something to be said about the skill that it takes to beat, juggle, and scratch on a traditional analog system with just two turntables and a mixer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you couple that with the power of a laptop and like a software like Serato, what you can do with that, you can go absolutely bananas. You know what I'm saying? And the limitations are all up here. You know what I'm saying? Just your imagination. So shout out to him, man. Rob Swift, all those guys from from the Bronx and from New York and Brooklyn. So Queens too, man. Don't forget about Queens.
Man, I grew up on the Executioners. There's that movie, you should watch it. It's called I think it's just called Scratching.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just called Scratch. It came out in like early 2000s, I want to say. But bro, it's a documentary basically about like the turntablist at the time. So it covers the Executioners, Mike D from the Beastie Boys. Shout out, they got a new I don't know, I don't have Apple TV, but they put a new documentary about the Beastie Boys in there. So it's like featured all the old school guys from the Beastie Boys, which is
pretty popular, man. A lot of people,
man,
it's making a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because it was written, produced, I think, and directed by Spike Jonze. With Michael Diamond, Adam Horowitz, some people like that. So it's definitely something I want to see. But I mean, I'm not going to go at them. I still want to see the Last Dance you were talking about for sure.
Do you have Apple TV? Oh, you got a Mac. I'll give you my password.
Oh, word, that would be crazy. Yeah, because I feel like if I can't find a way to stream it, then I'm interested in seeing it because they just paved the way for fucking a different sound in hip hop for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a new project coming out that looks pretty cool, man. Especially in terms of, things that we're watching, since we're kind of, I'm guilty of watching Netflix. I'm guilty of spending most of my time watching shit, but I enjoy it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Other than that, I feel like, I just got to catch up on because The Last Dance it's a couple of episodes. It's like 3, is it more? Is it kind of like a season?
The Last Dance, if I'm not mistaken, I should know this off top. I think it's a 6-part series.
Okay.
But fire, bro. Like, I don't know if you saw, but they just announced. I mean, we've known about it, but all the details are coming out for the new Space Jam.
Say what?
Yeah, the new Space Jam, like the logo with LeBron. So, it's just not going to be the movie. They got to have the sound, and I hope the soundtrack is like same caliber as Black Panther, man, because I remember the original Space Jam soundtrack. I mean, I had it, and like being a kid, I was rocking to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it didn't age too well. Like I'm not gonna revisit it right now, but those guys are smart, man. They'll tap into some of the people who are hot right now and come out with a banging soundtrack. So I'm really looking forward to this new Space Jam.
That sounds cool, man. I didn't even know they were doing that because I remember the soundtrack. That's one of my favorite movies, man.
Yeah, check it out, man. You definitely got to put some of the graphs in the video because
for sure.
I think like LeBron was rocking like a Space Jam. It says like Space Jam Legacy or something like that. Like he was rocking one of the hats.
Okay.
I saw it online. So
I'm gonna find that. Yeah, that would be nice, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I remember that soundtrack. I mean, I don't care. I love R. Kelly's music.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, I completely disagree, but that's not going to stop me from listening to his music. Like, I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah,
like that was the opening song when, in the first original Space Jam, when he's playing basketball with his father outside the house.
Yeah.
Just there in the middle of the night. His father's like, yo, come in to eat. And he's like, just one more shot. Bam. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I believe I can fly. You're like, damn, boy.
But Kelly fucked it all up, though, man. You know what I'm saying? As epic as those were, it's just like some people you can defend, but like with that one and that too is like, yo, I gotta just get rid of that whole catalog. And that one, I was like, that sucks.
See, for me, that's where I'm like, I can't, bro. I can't get rid of the catalog. Like, it's not him as a horrible person is not going to discredit me from stuff that impacted me on a music level before I even knew about this.
Right.
But I guess that's my choice. You know what I mean?
I mean, and of course, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're not the only one. There's, it's totally fine. You know what I'm saying?
But that's funny because even that End Phase, the Mother song I was talking about, I think that album was produced by R. Kelly. So I think, and I think since then they've made like one gospel CD, and they were an a cappella group before. But yeah, I don't know how I think number one for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Kanye, but definitely Kanye's Hey Mama.
Yeah, fire.
The 2008 Grammy ones where he performed it literally months after his mom's passed.
Yeah.
And the song is just, it's so sad. Like you could feel it you feel him when he's rapping and when he's singing about basically, you know, everything that he's going through. And then just to note that whole song was originally for his mom, and he sang it in a lot different manner on Oprah, I think years before.
Yeah.
Or maybe, don't quote me years, maybe months before, you know, that actual, you know, her passing. And I know he went on tour for that, for late registration, and couldn't perform that song at a lot of times when it would come up on the bills to play.
Yeah, man. I mean, in talking about Ye in particular, and you know, mothers in hip hop, she's probably, you know, one of the names that people know the most, because she, you know, she's Kanye's mom,
right?
And you know, that was Kanye's best friend, and it's a pivotal moment in his life, in his career, you know, with her passing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely love Hey Mama. That song is great. I even love the video when they were doing the documentary.
'Cause I'm so proud of you, and let me tell you what I'm about to do, Mama. You know I act a fool, but I promise you I'm going back to school, and I appreciate what you alive for me,
Where he just did it a cappella in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mama, I know I act a fool, but I promise you I'm going back to school.
Yeah.
You can just see it in their eyes, and like, that's my son. Like, I'm so proud of him. You know what I'm saying? Another one is the Tupac joint, Classic. You know,
Dear Mama, yeah,
absolute super duper classic. You know what I'm saying? That one for me, since I was a kid, I just, for whatever reason, that record always resonated with me. You know what I'm saying?
Always, man. Because I feel like it's perfect. Like he just talks about the whole time is, no matter how fucked up his mom was or going through her own situation, she always was there to keep him off the streets as much as she could. And you know, like, even as a crack fiend, Mama, you always was a black queen.
Mama, I finally understand, for a woman it ain't easy trying to raise a man. You always,
Mama,
like, talk to him.
I love that song, man, and it's such a West Coast vibe, bro. That's definitely a classic too. I don't know, the Rick Ross one. After Rick Ross quit doing lean, or was trying to.
Oh yeah,
lost like 100 pounds, and he did a song about him basically coming out of the hospital, and with all his, you know, with the problems with, I think it was his liver or something like that, and his mom was the only one that was there, and he was talking about basically like just her being his best friend and his support through all the thick and thin through that whole situation, and just life in general.
I went unconscious, I woke up to see my mama smile. She told me no more promethazine, now to make her proud. Think about it, damn, I had to think about it. Give me a second, mama, let me think about it.
That was another big song that I liked. Even Chance the Rapper, bro. Hey Ma, I think it was.
Chance?
Yeah, Chance I like the video for that, was pretty good, just talking about him, you know, especially when he was younger. It was kind of him, like, almost talking about how he would go ape shit in school, like running around with, you know, fucking trying to hit people with hammers or chasing them with scissors and shit. And then kind of, you know what I mean? Like Chance just going crazy, and then him kind of coming out of that and being like, oh shit, my mama raised me right to kind of keep my head straight, and I don't need to be doing that kind of shit. So
right.
Hey ma, I know I never did behave a lot. Never got good grades a lot. And turn your hairs to grays a lot. Go in stores and take a lot. Never shop and save a lot.
Those were kind of like big songs, at least for me, that I definitely put in like the top ones for sure. But Tupac and the Kanye winner, I think, on my top list for sure.
Yeah, and you know, those are good. I mean, even though they're like, at this point, they're pretty old. But
yeah,
classic music, it's the emotion that
exactly
it feel. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, it takes me right to that moment where, you know, it got me through something in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it really just, you know, even though you may not be going through something, it takes you back to a moment in your life. You know what I'm saying? Or you just appreciate and just reflect on your life. And but yeah, it's like hopping in like a time machine. You know, takes you back to your childhood, and you know, really makes you think about what really matters. And even in the, you know, in the game, we talk about a lot of stuff, and you know, mothers don't get nearly enough appreciation as they deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so especially, you know, my mom, and you know, she's a huge influence in my life, and I wouldn't be who I was if it wasn't for her. You know what I'm saying? So, growing up single parent in the city in Detroit,
Yeah, man.
Mother's Day.
Moms. I mean, even if you didn't have good relationships with your mom, I feel like there's that Jay-Z song. There's a bunch of songs just where it's like kind of about how mothers weren't there, but they still tried their best. And, you know, kind of, I think even Drake has a relationship like that with his mom. It's kind of like.
Yeah, huge, man.
Yeah. So it's kind of.
Jay's mom, I know she on the Black album, she did the intro, like talking about like his birth and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was super cool, man. You know, Jay's like the coolest dude in the game, and he has his mom speak on record. You know what I'm saying about his birth and that experience and things like that, and how like his personality was. So I think that was super fire.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's another song too. I think it was the album before that. Well, not before that, but before that time, before the Black album. Yeah, because she was like in between his verses, and she would say different parts of it too.
Mm.
And I guess it was kind of cool to hear her voice talking in between as well. Even Nas, Dance, he did that song about his mom.
Yeah,
which is pretty good. So.
One more dance with you, mama. If I could only have one more dance with you, mama. I'm praying, wishing I could have one.
You know, a lot of it is. It's just the emotion that it evokes out of you, and kind of like this realization of, damn, like these aren't people who raised me to who I am and made the personality that I am today. You know, bullshit, bro. There's Nike. Apparently, one swoosh is not enough on your fucking jacket. Now they have fucking 2 swooshes on your shirts like this.
I need 2 of them things. I don't know about you, but I need 2 swooshes. You know what I'm saying? I need 2 of them.
I need 3. I need 3 at least. You know what I mean?
I need a couple of them things.
Yo, I was just looking at it. I was scrolling literally, and the first couple pages was literally like shirts with 2 swooshes on it, pants with 2 swooshes on it, hats with 2 swooshes on. I was like, cool, whatever. They're definitely not as cool as the new fucking Royal Toe Jordan 1s.
Mm-hmm.
Those look pretty cool, the classic Jordans, but they've got like this royal blue on the toe. Yeah, it kind of incorporates into the sides. I like that. But
I mean, the 1 is my favorite sneaker of all time.
Exactly, like, it's just classic, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, and I just like it because they don't go over the top with the thing. Like I think, I don't know. There's a bunch of new shoes I was looking at. The New Balance has a new collab with something. They almost look like new. They look like a New Balance version of Yeezys, but they did a New Balance did a collaboration with some designer, and those came out. But definitely, if you see me rocking Nike next time, it's gonna have at least 3 swooshes. 2 of them will be legit. 1 will probably be an iron-on. Right. You'll definitely see 3.
That's cool. I mean, everything is custom now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think Virgil does? You know what I mean? Just throw some shit on there. You know what I mean? If it's yours, rock it with confidence.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's it. Really, about the fucking. That's it. You know.
Word.
What fashion? Wear some FUBU. I don't know. Support Daymond.
Right. I mean, I saw some kid in Brooklyn rocking FUBU. I mean, I was like, oh, that's kind of hard on the low. You know, not for me, but I mean, he was doing his thing.
I just like the Letterman jackets they used to have, bro. They were so extra. Like,
yeah,
the FUBU, fucking either it's the big letters or the dragon. Even they had the Asian ripoffs, the Bufus. I don't know if you ever.
Oh, I love the Bufus. Yeah.
That shit was crazy. Oh, real quick question for you though.
What's up?
So, if you had to be blind or deaf for the rest of your life,
I'll be blind.
You'd be blind, so you could hear all the music.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, for sure. I'll be blind.
Damn, man. Okay, how about this one? My girlfriend told me this the other day. It's pretty. So, if you could only, for the rest of your life, you'd walk around and you'd have that sensation like you want to sneeze, where it's like you're gonna sneeze, but you don't sneeze.
Okay.
So you can either have that feeling the rest of your whole life, or consistently have to go to the bathroom and fucking have diarrhea like your whole life.
Oh, sleep. I'm already like that. Like I got, you know, my like, what? That's me right now. Like, come on. Like diarrhea. Nah, that's fucked up, man. Like the diarrhea.
Because you know that feeling before you sneeze. So those are your 2 choices. She told me, and I was like, fuck, I don't know. I was like, maybe.
Nah.
I was like, I would. For me, I said, I would probably rather live with the sneeze. Like everywhere, all my social media pictures would just be me. Like everywhere I go, you'd be like, you'd have that face. But if you were taking a diarrhea all the time, bro, you couldn't go anywhere. Like
your quality of life is trash. Like,
bro, you can't work, because you're just shitting all the time. You can't go on a plane because you're shitting all the time.
And then now, like, toilet paper is like a scarce item, so you might be fucked, bro. You might,
literally.
You have to get one of them things that what's the water shit in the toilet? What's it called?
Oh shit! Oh yeah, bidet.
Yeah,
bro.
you might have to.
You need a portable bidet.
That's
something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna have to carry one of those fucking.
That's too much.
You're gonna have to carry one of these squirt bottles, but with water, 24/7. So you could just basically squirt it up your ass every 2 fucking minutes.
Nah, see, that's a dub automatically. Crazy.
So you would go with the sneezing or what?
Oh yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Okay, all right.
I would sneeze and then I'll be blind because I need glasses anyways. I can barely see as it is.
Well, hopefully none of those happen. Like hopefully it's like you don't go your whole life and you can't sneeze, and then finally like in your last hours you sneeze and then you go blind. Because you sneeze for the first time and you're like, oh shit. Like,
right.
Hopefully none of those happen, but yeah.
You order one sandwich. Bodega Bites. How much is that? Bodega. Is that 20? Bodega Bites. Bodega Bites.